Hello everyone, just a quick tip about how to override the static mesh that we have in our static mesh spawner in our scene. So let's say you want to change it every actor you have. You want to override the static mesh. One time you want to put walls, one time you want to put floors. That way it's not possible with a normal graph. So as you can see, this graph doesn't allow me to do it. But here's another one that I just made, and it's has parameter overrides, and you can change what you want to put in there. So you can basically change it to anything you like, and then the whole thing will change, and you can basically override it for each instance of the PCG actor you have. So let me just go over it quickly. So this is usually the normal way you do it, right? So you just do a spline and a static mesh spawner. This one is a spline, spawn a spline mesh. But let's say you want to do a static mesh spawner, and you want to override it. You want to override the rotation of each PCG actor and each mesh that is in it. So the only thing you have to do is to create 3 parameters here. As you can see, they changed the placing of how you can add parameters in PCG. But there's a graph parameters tab, and in there you can add any new parameter you like, and just set them by clicking on this small icons. Set them to static mesh object reference. And you can also override the material. Similarly, just type material, select the object reference material, name it. You can also add a rotator here, and that would act as your rotation attribute for transforming points if you want to rotate each instance. After you do the spline sampler, you can do the transform points for rotation, and then you just here you can say get rotation. This is exactly this attribute we made here, and you just plug it into rotation min and rotation max if you want an absolute, not a random rotation. And then you can also similarly get your static mesh. Then you have this attribute. You can add it to the attribute with an add attribute. Add, just a normal add, and then here in the parameters, not in metadata, you just add the attribute and then plug it in. And similarly for material, the only thing you need to take care of is name it, whatever you name it here or here. Later you have to call it in your static mesh spawner. Change your static mesh spawner to PCG mesh selector by attribute. And then when you do that, you can type in the attribute name for the static mesh you have. And then below that, there is by attribute material override. And then you can add it, add an element, write material instance, basically the name of this attribute I just added here. And now these 2 parameters will override the static mesh and material itself. The other thing is you want to also change the component if you want HISMs, not instance mesh, but hierarchical instance static mesh. That way, if your instances are not dynamic, they're not basically changing, and they're just static elements in your scene, then you can do larger scenes with much less load and performance load that way. I hope this is useful, and see you on the next tips. Take care.